Hi guys, today we are going to be trying out a new palette from Glamlite that I have in my hands that I almost just dropped. I'm so excited for this. I don't know if you guys saw the video that I did I want to say 2 weeks ago where I was like, where is Glamlite? When are they going to come out with a new palette? Well, the answer is now, because they've come out with the Red Velvet Cupcake palette. I was sent this in PR. I was so excited when I got an email from them because you guys know I love Glamlite. They have one of my favorite formulas, and I just think that food themed palette is it's just fun. Makeup shouldn't be that serious, and when I get something like this with a eyeshadow palette inside of an oven, it just makes me happy. This is how it comes packaged, and then you take out the palette and it's in here, and it's just the cutest thing. It has little sprinkles on the outside, and I don't know, it just makes me happy to look at. Is it maybe a little bit childish and gimmicky? Sure, but I really couldn't care less because I think this is just fun. And I think that the color story inside of it is really, really cute as well. It's very much a Valentine's Day palette, if you want to say that, but I am excited to test this out. I think this is adorable, and I think that they did a really good job making a very, I don't want to say wearable, but I think it's the kind of color story that a lot of people, even if they're not super into color, which Glamlite has so many rainbow palettes that it's nice for them to expand into a little bit more curated color stories, and I think that they did a really good job with this, and they swatched like an absolute dream. They looked so beautiful. Some of the shimmers in this, spectacular. Let's see, it does retail for $25, just wanted to say that so I don't forget. I do have a code with Glamlite as well. It is just Annette, and it will save you 15% off. It is an affiliated code, just so you know. So we're gonna go ahead and try this out. I did get a question. Someone wanted me to compare the pie palette to the Red Velvet Cupcake palette, so I will just show you a side by side. I'm not gonna do any swatches or anything, but when I was looking at these myself, I was kind of surprised at just how similar they are. I mean, you can kind of look for yourself and see that the color story it's quite similar, and I feel like even though maybe they're not exact dupes in these two palettes, you can get very close to, the same kind of looks with these. So if you have the pie palette, maybe you don't need the cupcake palette. If you don't have either of them, you probably only need one, whichever food you like more, I guess. I don't know, but we're gonna go ahead and test this out, and yeah, I'm just gonna start by priming. I'm going to use my Natasha Denona eyeshadow base as per usual, and when I swatched this palette, I was very curious about the red because reds tend to lean pink a lot of the time, and that seemed to be the case with this one as well, so I'm not going to try to maneuver it into being a red because it clearly didn't want to be a red when I swatched it, so we're just going to kind of treat it as a very, very bright, dark pink because that is what it seemed to pull on my hand. So I'm just gonna use this primer. Like I've said many times before, this primer does pull a little bit pink, so sometimes with reds it does make them more pink, but since this is quite a pink red anyway, we're just gonna kind of roll with this primer and expect it to be kind of pink. Let's see, how can I jam as many of these on my eyes as possible and still make it a cohesive look? That is always the question. I'm kind of in the mood to do a full cut crease today. I haven't done that in what feels like forever. So maybe that's what I'll do, and that way I'll be able to at least use a lot of these shimmers. What should I do on my lid though? I'm thinking I want to do, I don't know, it's just so hard. Every single time I try to come up with a look, I don't know how people come up with looks before they start filming. I can't do that. I never have a plan when I go into it. I just want to sit down and have fun and kind of let the inspiration come to me. So I definitely want to use the red. We're probably going to use the red because I just have to. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the red kind of be the outer portion of my full cut crease and have it be the wing part. And then I want to do, maybe I want to do these two in my crease. Could that be kind of fun and different? Let's go ahead and start with that. I'm going to start with this shade right here. Actually, this one is called Confection. A little bit of kick up in the pan here, but that is kind of to be expected. I'm gonna start just packing this into my crease where it is that I want it to be, and I'm going to pull these shades up quite high since when I do cut my crease, I do have hooded eyes, and I need to cut my crease very, very high for it to actually show and look like a full cut crease when my eye is open. So since this is my transition shade, it's going to go quite high up here, and I'm gonna be quite precise so that when I do go ahead and cut my crease, I don't have too much product just on the outer portion here that I need to cover up. So I'm just gonna kind of try to put this down in a cut crease shape to begin with. And this is just going to be very dependent on your own eye shape. If you want to do something similar, it's very, very hard to teach anybody how to do cut creases because it's just so eye shape dependent. And for myself, like I said, with my hooded eyes, it's taken a lot of practice to get it right. And I still don't really feel like I'm that good at full cut creases because I just don't do them that often, because they are a little bit more time consuming and precise than what I usually like to do with my makeup. I'm not really someone who does like a lot of artistic work, if you want to, I don't know, explain it that way. I just like to do more simple looks that I feel like is still pretty but doesn't take forever to do. As much as I like doing my makeup, I don't like spending that much time on it because there's other things that I want to do as well, you know? This is such a beautiful color. I really like that. That looks very, very nice. I feel like it's looking more vibrant on my eye than it is in the pan, because in the pan it's looking more like a mauve-y purple, but on the eyes it's definitely more saturated than what I was expecting. Did you see what I just do? I went to scratch myself and I put my finger through my earring. Who does that? I'm so weird sometimes. So I think this is where I'm going to leave it with this shade. I'm gonna next go into the shade called Super Moist. I'm not one of those people who hate the word moist, but I know a lot of people do, and I'll be honest, it makes me cringe just like a little bit, but like in a funny way. I'm gonna use this to just, I don't want to say deepen up this color because it's not really darker, but just to get a little bit of a different hue in here as well, so it looks like there's two colors and not just one. And it'll also just let me play with more shades here. So I'm just taking this a little bit lower down than where I put down that first shade. So this is where I'm going to leave it with my crease. Next up, we're going to go ahead and cut it, and I'm just going to use one of the concealers that I don't like. This is from Umo Beauty. This one is just a little bit too creamy for me, and it just kind of creases under my eyes. So hopefully it won't crease on my eyes. I mean, it probably will, but since I'm going to do a cut crease anyway, I need to find the right brush for this. All right, I'm going to use this one. This is my favorite. It's the Morphe M421. It is just very, very nice and flat and precise. So I'm just gonna go ahead and speed this up so you can sort of see what I'm doing, but it's very hard to explain it because, like I said, it's very dependent on your own eye shape and you're just gonna kind of have to go with it. But I'm basically just cutting above the crease of my eye so that when my eye is open, I can see this whole line. And then when I get to the outer portion, I'm just gonna kind of drag this upwards, sort of like this.
Even if you tried, you wouldn't understand it. Maybe something's missing inside of you. Just a bit of sugar to that horrid bitter. Maybe you taste different. Hold up, baby.
Are these even? That is literally always the question, and the answer is always no, because I clearly don't know how to make even cut creases, but I think it's as good as it's going to get. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take a very, very small brush here, which I'm trying to find shit, and it's always a struggle. So I'm going to take this brush from Rephr. This is the P23. I think it's just called a 23 now, but it's a very, very small pencil brush, and I'm going to go into the red here, and we're going to use that to sort of create the outer wing part. So I'm gonna basically take that from, I don't know, it's very hard to explain, but you see what I'm doing. I'm basically using this to create that wing that's going to meet up with where the cut crease is, and I'm just gonna fill in the outer portion of this here. And this is creasing so badly on me, good lord. Thank God I'm gonna use some shimmers on my lid because this could end up in a disaster otherwise. But this is just gonna go in the outer portion of my lid here. Getting a little bit of fallout with this shade, but I'm also using a very, very small brush and probably picking up a little bit too much. So I'm not going to blame this shadow for that. It actually does look a lot redder on my eye than what I was expecting. I really thought that this would lean a little bit more pink, but I'm pleasantly surprised at how red that is, because that is honestly way more red than pink, which is really, really cool. So I'm gonna leave this about here, and then we're obviously gonna put some shimmers on the rest of the lid because I love shimmers on my lid. Let's see if I am able to remove this fallout, because it is a little bit annoying because I don't want to walk around with red on my face, but that seems to stick a little bit. It's not terrible. Should be able to cover this up with a little bit of highlighter after, but I can definitely see it stick to my face, so maybe do your eyes first if you're gonna use that shade and really pack it on, because I did have a little bit of fallout, but like I said, I was using a very, very small brush and it definitely could have been my own fault. So let's see, should I do my under eye first or my lid first? I think I'm gonna go ahead and do my lid first. So I'm just gonna tap on top of this and just remove as much excess of that concealer as I'm able to, because I do not want a lot of concealer on my lid because it's just going to crease. And then I'm going to put down some NYX glitter primer where I want my shimmers to go. Gonna use another very precise brush here. This is my Morphe M124. I really like these flat Morphe brushes. They're really, really nice for doing precise work with. So I'm just putting my glitter primer all over where I cut my crease. And then let's see, I think I want to use probably 3 shades. So I'm thinking I'm going to start with, should I use 2 or 3? Maybe I'll start with this one, and this one. Maybe that could be a good idea. No, I really want to use this shade and this shade. Maybe I'll just use 2 and then 1 underneath my eye. I'm going to start with this one. This one is called Decadent, and I'm going to pick that up on the same sticky side of my brush here because it just really helps it pick up nicely. So I'm gonna start in the middle of my lid and just kind of blend that into the red that I have in the outer portion. That is such a pretty color. Ooh, that's very, very pretty. And I'm very excited to put that lighter shade on my lid too, because that was a beautiful duochrome when I swatched it. And then for the front portion of my lid, I'm gonna use the shade called Cream Cheese. I can't wait to see what this looks like on the eyes. I feel like it's just going to be so beautiful, and it's also probably going to layer so nicely over the top of that pink that I just put down. I feel like this is going to be a little bit more of a sheer formula, but with a very strong shift to it. So I'm just gonna work on really packing this on and blending these 2 colors together. How pretty is that transition between these 2 colors though? They are just like a match made in heaven. Oh, I think this looks very, very pretty. Just gonna go back and forth between these 2 colors until I get a nice blend, and then we're gonna see what I want to do under my eyes. I'm thinking I want to use a couple of different colors just to really try them out here, but I really like how this is looking. That looks very pretty. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use, what have I not used? I haven't really used like the more neutrally tones. I'm thinking I want to do maybe this one and this one. So I'm going to start with, is that what I want to do? I don't really think that's what I want to do. Maybe I'll just do this shade under my eye, and then I can do like this shimmer maybe in the front portion. I'm going to go ahead and just smoke this underneath my eye. This is the shade called Cupcake Heaven. So I'm going to start with a small pencil brush here and just go right underneath where it is that I want this to be. So it was looking kind of similar to the crease shade. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to just try it out to see if there was a difference. And there's definitely a difference in the undertone of it, but like it's still kind of a similar color. I do think they're different enough to warrant having both in here though, especially since they were going for a very pinky reddish palette and purples. That looks very pretty. And then I'm gonna switch to another brush and just use that to blend out the edges here. And like I said, we're gonna use a shimmer as well, and I'm gonna use the shade called Cake Mix. This one right here looks so pretty. Just gonna take that on my Rephr 03, and I'm going to spray this a little bit because I do want this to be nice and intense. And I'm gonna put that just right here, and we're gonna see if I can really make this area pop, which that looks very pretty. I really like Glamlite shimmers. I think that they are beautiful. So I think this is going to be it for the shadows. I'm gonna go ahead and finish off. I might have to clean up a little bit here because it's looking a little messy, but I'll do that and I'll come back and I will show you the final look. Okay, so this is how I decided to finish off, and I think that this really came together. I really like this look. It's so fun, and I feel like, especially since I don't really do like cut creases like this very often, it's a nice little change, even though it kind of looks like one of my big wings, except that I used concealer and I didn't use like some kind of a liquid product to create that outer portion with, and I feel like this is something that is probably easier to recreate in a way if you don't have the same products that I normally use, but this is just, it's just fun. I decided to focus most of my mascara like on the outer portion of my lashes. I know that's kind of weird, but I feel like it made my eyes like kind of flare out a little bit. It kind of looks like half lashes in a way. So let's see. For my eyeliner today, I wanted to use something very light, and I went with Crybaby from Colourpop. I could have gone with some kind of a pink, but I don't really love having pink in my waterline. I don't know what it is. I feel like it just looks a little bit off on me. Like, a lot of other people can really pull it off, but I feel like it just looks off on me. Let's see. For my blush today, I am wearing the Menagerie Arthurian blush palette, and I love this. I think it is so cute. I just keep forgetting to use it because it's like so big. But I have a mix of these two colors here, which are my favorites. That is what is on my cheeks. And then for my highlighter, I'm using, of course, Bitter Lace Beauty's Cupcake Crush, because I wanted something pink that could cover up the staining, and I feel like, not the staining, the fallout, and I feel like it looks really, really nice. And then for my lipstick today, I have my collab lipstick with Menagerie. This is in the shade Churro, which is the name of my cat, and I just thought it would look perfect with this look, and I'm happy to be able to wear it again, because I was looking for it the other day and I literally couldn't find it. Like, I was looking for this for such a long time. I wanted to wear it, and then I realized that it had just fallen on the floor, and it was on the floor, and I found it. So I'm wearing it today because I am making such a mess. Why am I like this? Let's see, how do I feel about this palette? I feel like this palette is really, really cute. My only, I don't even know if I would say complaint, it's more of a personal preference thing, is that I wish that there was a bit of a deeper shade in here. I feel like some of these shades are maybe a little too similar. Maybe a very dark brown would look really nice in here. I don't know. I wish it just had like a deepening shade that's a little bit darker. And I wish that the darkest shade in the palette wasn't a shimmer, it was a matte. But again, it's just personal preference. I feel like this could make for a really, really nice smoky eye. So I'm not mad at this in here. I just wish that there was maybe a darker shade to kind of tie this into the rest of the palette. But that is just me. I think this is really, really cute. I think that the shadows perform beautifully, like Glamlite's mattes and shimmers always do. And yeah, I think they look beautiful. I mean, look how pretty they are on my lids. I really like this. So that's going to be my thoughts. Like I said, this palette is available already. I think it launched the day that this video is going up. So if you want to get your hands on this, maybe it's still in stock, maybe it's sold out. I don't really know. You're just going to have to go and check it out yourself if you're interested in it. If not, thank you so much for just being here and hanging out with me. That is all that matters. You don't have to feel like you ever need to buy anything to support my channel. Just being here and watching me is all I would ever ask for. So that's going to be it for today. Thank you so much for watching. As always, if you want to see some more Glamlite content, I do have a playlist right there. And if you're new, don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.